Hello, War of the Visions fans. I'm Jackie Fox. My life has been pretty uncharacteristically busy lately, so that's one of the reasons that I haven't made as much content, but there are also some other reasons that just kind of relate to the vibes of the game and vibes that I think pretty much everyone on the global side is feeling in one way or another. Even if you weren't directly affected, you're probably indirectly affected by some bad decisions that Gumi has made recently. But I have a lot of good news. There are ways that they're trying to rectify this, even if they aren't exactly the right thing. They are pretty cool, and there is every reason to believe that this is a temporary change. So what am I talking about? First and foremost, Viz is too expensive in this game. One of my first videos for this channel, one of the things that I want to explain to the FFBE audience the most is from playing Gumi's previous games that whatever you need to awaken a character to its newest level is always feels pretty limited when that system is first introduced, and then over time those materials get easier and easier to access. You get more and more of them for free, they start giving them away, etc. Basically, there's so many currencies and economies within this game, and all of them get more generous over time. The exception to that is Viz, though. In fact, with Viz, it kind of goes in the opposite direction. Units eventually get rarer than they were when Viz was first introduced, when the game first started, right? Because now we have 100 cost characters that are harder to pull. We have more limited units, more limited 100 cost characters, which are definitely the hardest of all to pull, and basically every new character is generally a 100 cost character, so they're all at the hardest to pull tier, while there are hundreds, well, maybe not quite 200, but there's maybe at least 150 non-100 cost units, and there are places for them within this game, but they are exceedingly rare these days, and typically not in any sort of unlimited meta, like any time where there isn't a cost limitation to take into account. Guild Battle right now is a good example of where some of these other characters might shine. But my point is that you are so disproportionately stacked to pull those generally useless units that pulls are just worse than they were. And this kind of devalues, in my mind, Vizior, which is mainly meant to purchase pulls. I mean, there's other things you can do with it, for sure, but basically this is what you're gambling with, right? And it's not necessarily that we've gotten more free Viz more regularly. They have slowly added more systems that would give us a little bit of extra Viz over time, but it hasn't been, like super staggering. So it's not necessarily easier to be a free-to-play. So if you really want to chase a lot of these characters, you got to pay in, at least a little bit. That's okay. I mean, this is a game. They're developers. They're doing a job. They deserve to get paid. And to a certain degree, we should give them money, right? But we shouldn't be giving them hundreds or thousands of dollars. I mean, it is just one game. It is kind of a live service, so maybe we should think of this as like, if there were a subscription fee, maybe I'd pay $5 a month for this. So maybe every 6 months I'll spend $30 on the game. And that happens to line up really well with packs H and F. Now, if Gumi should know one thing, it's that removing pack H and F basically affects everyone. Anyone who spends in this game is going to be annoyed by that. The people who are maybe proportionally affected the least are whales, but it still feels good to get a nice discount. If you're going to spend $100 or $2, you want to know that at least the first 100 was a good deal, even if that just left you with bad deals. Because the thing is, for me, even when this game started and Viz was at its most valuable, I never really considered any other offer except maybe the daily login offer, which is like $7, and you get like 100 Viz a day and some tickets, right? Not great. Doesn't really give you any paid Viz either. So if you really want to get a lot of paid viz, you've got to go with one of these. And there's some really good paid viz options. Like we just recently saw 100 cost brand new fall set at 120 guaranteed for 2,000 viz. That is an amazing deal. That is a deal that we've seen before, but only to purchase like units that were years old. We've never seen this with a brand new 100 cost unit. In fact, I think we've only really seen this mainly with 70 cost units. I think Volke may have been one of these. I'm not even sure that was a guaranteed 120 pull even. I remember Halloween Lucio, that's how I got him. And that felt like a good investment. So I really like that banner, and it does some things, but if all of the options for buying viz are bad, everyone's going to feel bad about that experience. Now, I definitely think that packs H and F should come back, but I think that the entire viz store, from the ground up, needs like a 30% discount. That needs to be the new baseline. Prices are too high. Pulls have gotten worse. Please give us a discount on viz, so that we aren't as dependent on packs H and F. But for God's sakes, just because it's an easy PR win, bring them back. Because this was the thing that pissed people off the most. I mean, Road to Worldwide was a complicated mess. And there was a lot of parts of it that I thought just got bad press. They weren't necessarily bad things for the company. And as a part of a bigger picture and them refocusing all of their efforts into War of the Visions, I'm okay with that. I wish as many people didn't lose their jobs. I wish games didn't necessarily get shut down, but maybe giving up on FFBE to focus on War of the Visions is the best decision they could make. But PAX H and F disappearing during Worldwide, that just pissed everybody off. That was probably the biggest sticking point for everyone. Was in addition to everything else, Viz was now ridiculously expensive as a baseline. So I think that needs to be solved, and in a way that doesn't just bring PAX H and F back, but also fixes the price of Viz in general. It's just too expensive. Now, I guess if we're regularly getting deals like we did on Falsette, then maybe paying that higher amount for paid Viz is more appropriate. I mean, they're giving us really, really, really good values for paid Viz. Sure, regular Viz might be undervalued, but that paid Viz actually has a lot of leverage if Gumi is releasing generous banners, and they kind of have recently. But also, as you've probably noticed throughout this whole video, because of my background, we also just got a completely free 100 cost character that JP didn't get. This is kind of ridiculous. It's unprecedented in a number of ways. It's not that we've never gotten a free 100 cost character before. We have. Addison Rae. Actually, Addison Rae is probably the only precedent for this, if I think about it, because you've also got Bartz, but he's limited. So this is an unlimited character. You can build anytime. And he has a limit burst. And I think, as far as I can think, there have only been like 4 free non-limited UR characters. There was Lemure and Corwell, who were both... Well, neither one of them have a limit burst to this day, which is kind of weird for a UR unit when that's kind of the crux of a lot of UR units' power, and them not having one just makes them categorically, typically, less good units. Lemure is still pretty usable, though. I mean, any time mage with Quicken is usable. But also, I guess, Addison Rae and now O being 100 cost, viable, good characters that actually do have a limit burst. And O would be the first of this new generation. So if we see more deals like Falsette, and we see more free units to help people keep up, like the anniversary. I mean, there have been a number of opportunities for people to catch up with free characters in a way that honestly reminds me more of some of the things I liked about pulling in FFBE that War of the Visions has always felt a little bit stingier about. Another thing I could say about FFBE is they were not shy at just throwing tickets at you. And this kind of helped over time make up for basically having a unit pool that's bloated with characters that are becoming out of date because the game has been running on for years and years and years. Because, the rates might not be great for the new characters, but at a certain point, when you've got hundreds of free pulls every couple of months, you're probably going to get them eventually. I mean, maybe a couple months after they come out, but as a free-to-play, if I can do that consistently enough, I'm okay with that, because it allows me to play with most of the characters. I'm not unhappy with that. So I really think that this could be signs that Gumi is moving in a good direction. But I really think that H&F have to come back for just PR reasons. Even if they do what I say and lower the cost of Viz in general, and I think that's a great idea. Or maybe just add more free Viz to all of the packs. That's another way you could go. So you don't want to change your prices, just give us more value. Let's say you buy a pack that is currently 6,000 paid Viz and 6,000 free Viz. I think this pack is probably around $100. But I'll try to get verification on screen so you can see. What if this was 6 and 10 or 6 and 12? I mean, again, it seems like this paid Viz is, again, if false set, is the beginning of a new precedent that at least every once in a while they give us the opportunity to just 2K paid outright buy a character. 6,000 paid Viz suddenly becomes 3 characters over the next maybe 3 months that you'll be able to get at 120. You don't even have to build them up. You don't even have to worry about shards or any of that. Do you know how much money, how much resources that saves you for just 2K paid? Like, that fixes that issue. But there's still an issue on the free Viz side. Things are harder to pull. People have to go to pity more consistently. We need more Viz to be able to do that. And people who are paying into the system need more Viz to be able to do that. It's always felt weird to me that if I buy 12,000 Viz, it feels like I can't spend 6,000 of it because it's inherently more valuable than the other 6. So really, in terms of pulling, I only bought 3 pulls even though I spent $100 on it. And I've got this extra resource that could be really valuable, but I'll probably have to wait for a deal. But right now, it doesn't really help me pull. 10,000 would change that into 5 pulls. 12,000, just doubling it outright, would change it to 12,000. And I think that it would be nice to see more ways to get free Viz to all players. Just some new layer that maybe gives us the ability to earn 200 Viz a day. It's about 6,000 Viz a month extra, 3 extra pulls per month. That's not a lot to ask for, really. But also maybe another way to earn a rare summon ticket per day. Maybe the rewards for completing the daily missions could be 2 or even 3 rare summon tickets. That'd be pretty cool. That's one of the only reliable ways to bank easy summon tickets on a monthly basis. Being able to do 90 free pulls per month for doing your daily missions would be pretty cool. Just saying, just spitballing here. Anyways, for everybody else, I hope you've learned how to build a character efficiently. Paid attention to the order I've done things. I made a number of videos about this, but it kind of behooves me to make another one, especially when we're getting a great free character like this. It's so easy to invest in, because when you don't even have to pity the character, how you spend your Viz to build them out, it changes the math and it makes it a little bit better in some ways, although the fact that you didn't pull very much and means you don't have many coins, and that's a little bit of a downside, but I'll show you how to overcome that in this video. I mean, you've probably already seen it. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. If you want to donate to the channel, you can do that on Ko-fi or Patreon, Jackie Fox on either platform. You can also find my books on Amazon, and I would, honestly, that's how I would most like to make money, is by actually selling books. So if you could help me out with that dream, leave a positive review on Amazon, any of that, or just leave a nice comment in the comments section. All that stuff would help me out tremendously. Thank you so much for doing it. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you do it. Man, you're so cool. So cool for that. Anyways, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.